Alright, hello and welcome to Brains and Bronze podcast. I'm Chuck Teray.
I'm Wendy Sloan.
And Brains and Bronze is a weekly podcast designed to give you both sides of the story and help you better understand your world. Today we are brought to you by Astute Productions, where ideas take form, and Patriot Focus, turning everyday people into entrepreneurs and helping small businesses grow. So welcome back, Wendy, and today we have a special guest.
This is Julia Anna, California. I want to welcome you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So let's just get right into it.
Okay, great.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself or your career story?
Absolutely. I am originally from the state of Colorado, where I was raised and went to college, and I fell in love with Florida when I was visiting one time, so I moved here right out of college. I was a computer programmer for about 11 years with the Dade County Public School System, which was good at the time. It was a job, and during that time I got married and started having a family and decided that a 9-to-5 was not going to be the way I wanted to raise my children. So I left and actually ran a daycare out of my home.
Nice.
Crazy as that sounds, but you know, I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Chaos.
To stay home with my kids, and that was good. I did go on to have 3 children, and they are all adults now. They're 19, 22, and 25. So
wow. You made it.
out of the home stretch.
And I just want to interject here. The reason that we invited her here is because I've met her at networking events, and I think she's really awesome. I think she sets a really good example for women and entrepreneurship.
Well, thank you. Thank you. So yes, I did run the daycare while I needed to, but then I was introduced to direct sales.
Okay.
And I found I was very excited about direct sales. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the people. I enjoyed the mind growth that went with it while I was with my children. And I built with a company for several years that did very well for me financially, fairly well. I would say well enough to where I didn't have to go back to work. That company made some management decisions that weren't very good for business, and then I found my marriage falling apart as well. So I decided to go back and get my registered nurse degree so that I could have, you know, the path in life that I wanted. You know, was to get out of the marriage, but yet have the finances to be able to make some choices.
So let's back up. When you say direct sales, like what does that mean? Is it like a multi-level marketing fuss, or?
The company that I was with for about a decade is actually no longer in business, and they are a tiny company out of California, which is actually a lesson for me in picking the next company.
Right.
So I did get my registered nurse degree, and I did work with that for a couple of years so that I could actually get out of my marriage and still be financially okay. And then that other company did fall apart, and so this time, however, I was going to be smarter about the company that I chose. So did a lot of homework, looked at different direct sales companies, and I did want a multi-level, because what does that mean? What does multi-level mean? It means you get paid on multiple levels of people that also come into the business. And why would I not want to be paid on multiple levels? Why would you say, oh no, don't pay me on multiple levels? Absolutely. Bring it on.
Yeah.
You know, let's leverage myself as much as possible. So did my homework, looked at many companies, wanted one with, of course, really good management this time, an extensive product line so that more people could be reached and their needs be met with the products. Of course, a very good compensation plan. I learned a lot about compensation plans with the previous company, and going in a good direction and growing. And you know, there were a couple of good choices out there, and I chose Isagenix as the company for me to grow my career with.
And that's who you're with now still?
Yes, I'm with Isagenix.
How long is that? How long have you been with them now?
I've been with Isagenix about 2.5 years.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
And how many other companies did you preview and look at their compensation plan?
Well, first off, about 95% of companies would not even have been under my consideration. Either they didn't have enough of a track record. I didn't want a company that hadn't been around at least 5 years, because just like if you open a pizza place, 90% of them go out of business within 3 years. Correct? Right?
So what do you say about, like, my wife did Unique Makeup, which is kind of, you know, a multi-level marketing.
Which I have on right now, by the way.
Oh, good.
Yes, they
nice.
have excellent mascara.
Well, she still does it. I mean, she doesn't do as much now that she's a full-time counselor, but one of the things she said was she kind of got in a little bit too late, because she has a friend now who's making like 6 figures, but she was one of the first people that got in.
Okay.
And so she was saying, I mean, she kind of said the opposite, which was when you want to get in on the ground floor. But I agree with you that you want an established company you know is going to be around.
Yes.
So where do you find that balance?
It might have something to do with the products and the reach of the company and your own, how hard do you want to push it. I mean, unique products, I've seen a lot of people on Facebook selling unique products, and they're really good, by the way.
Right.
I've got their eyeliner, I've got their mascara. For me, I probably would not want to have such a narrow product line because it's only for women, okay? And it's only for women that care to wear makeup, and it's competitive. So for me, that wasn't something that I would want to do, although I absolutely do love their products. I buy them. For me, I wanted something that had an extensive product line that appeals to 99% of the population. Sure. So that if you didn't need to lose weight, maybe you were into bodybuilding, I have products for you. And one thing that really appealed to me was, as a baby boomer myself, I'm in my mid-50s, we will do anything not to grow old. That's all there is to it. And the company,
don't grow old. Don't trust anybody over 30, right? We heard that when we were little.
Those days are gone. Don't trust anybody under 40. No, I'm just kidding. We love everybody. But if you have something that's going to make me look younger, feel younger, or be younger, I will buy it. Right. And so will all my cohorts. And baby boomers still control half the wealth in this country. And the company I was looking at has a unique product that's very high tech at the DNA level, helping to preserve youth. And yay, I'm all over that, and I can market that. So that was a big draw to me.
So tell me about, maybe our listeners, just tell us a little bit about that particular product. What is it called?
It is called Product B. It's actually changing names now into Isogenesis. And we did not actually invent the product. It was invented by a company called Sierra Sciences, which is a bunch of scientists working hard to, find the root of aging and how we can slow down aging. Actually, at the telomere level, they're on the ends of your chromosomes. They have found, in fact, there was a Nobel Prize won in 2009, the discovery of telomeres and how the shortening the telomeres can actually show your age progression, not chronologically, but on the inside. And the shorter they get, the closer you are to, aging, disease, and eventually death, I guess. Wow. So elements have been found in nature that can actually slow or even reverse the degradation of telomeres. And so this company, Sierra Sciences, has tens of millions of dollars behind this product and all the science. Isagenix has the exclusive marketing rights.
Oh, wow.
So even though we didn't invent it, we are the exclusive marketers, so we can put our name on it.
Very
that
cool.
product excites me.
Yeah.
And I've been taking it for a couple of years, and at 54, I feel like I'm 20. So
wow.
it's been a great experience. And it's
at Toastmasters, we had a doctor that came in and says there's a lot of new products, and people he sees in our generation could live to 120 if they follow their doctors.
I've heard that, yeah.
Have you heard that?
Yeah.
I mean, I say I'm going to live to 104.
Yeah.
I plan to live to 110 at least.
110? That's your goals? Okay.
That's my plan.
I might have to change.
So I'm only middle-aged right now. There you go.
Yeah, that's why I said, like, when I turned 52, that was the back, now I'm on the back nine.
So yes, that's why I chose that company. I considered the compensation plan, the longevity of the company, of course, the expertise of the management, because that's what put my other company under, was the lack of management skills, how many products there were, and the direction of the company, how they're expanding, and that made a big difference.
So you've been doing it for 2.5 years, you said?
I have.
So what was the, when you started it, did you think that you would be with it for a long time, or was it something you did? Like you said, you researched it a lot. Was this like a long-term thing for you, or was this like a short?
It was kind of a ways, as about a year or so coming. It's just it's like a bad marriage. You don't give up the day it turns bad. It's kind of like you see it coming and then you make a decision.
So did you have friends that were doing it?
Well, actually, there were a few of us in the previous company that actually decided to go to this company together.
Oh, okay.
So, and during my experience with the other company, you learn a lot of things. What kind of products are highly marketable, what kind of compensation plans really work. Just because it's kind of like pizza place again. You could open a pizza place, but your success is going to depend on a lot of things. Your location, your price point, your service, of course, the pizzas themselves, what kind of other, atmosphere you can bring to your customers and your advertising. There's a lot of different factors. Same with network marketing or multi-level marketing. They're not all the same. Multi-level marketing is nothing more than a business model. It's not good, it's not bad. It's how you use it. Yeah. And so I needed to find a company.
Can you let our listeners know about that? Because I've never been very good. I've loved multi-level marketing products, but I've never made money from it. And I think I know why. It's because I never recruited people and never saw it as a business model. Can you explain the business model?
Absolutely.
What to look at?
Absolutely. It is simply sales. There's no difference between multi-level sales and non-multi-level sales except for the following. We all know what franchising is, correct? If there was only one Starbucks, how many cups of coffee would they sell? Only so many. But there are tens of thousands of Starbucks, so they sell billions of cups of coffee every year because there's so many outlets. It's the same thing here. We sell products. There's nothing spooky weird about this. We sell products. We only get paid when products move. However, just like franchising, the more outlets there are, I'm an individual franchise is what I am. If you look up the definition of franchise, it is the rights to sell products for the parent company. That's what I do. But the difference is if somebody else wants to be a franchisee, anybody can be a franchisee, but the company gives us, the franchisees in the field, the ability to go find other franchisees. What does that do? It grows the company. What does any company want to do? Grow, of course.
More market share.
Exactly, but instead of the company finding the franchisees, they give us the incentive to do so. But what would be my monetary incentive to find another franchisee and have them not be just my competition? Would be to be rewarded financially from the company for that person's success. And that's what I do. I find other franchisees. I sell products as well. I have my customer base, but then I teach that new franchisee how to be successful and to create customers who follow up. So it's a win-win for everybody. It's a win for me as a franchisee because I can create other franchisees and be leveraged through that. It's a win for the company because they're expanding, and it is a win for the customer as well because they get much better customer service than they would if they just bought their products at a store. I follow up with them. I help them with any issues that they may have. Maybe they're on the weight loss and they're having trouble with their sugar cravings. I can help them with that. You're not going to get that buying your products at the health food store.
Yeah, sure.
So it's really a win-win-win for everybody. So multi-level just means that not only do I get rewarded financially for helping somebody to be a franchisee, but when they also find other people to be a franchisee, I step up and also help those people to be successful. And the company pays me on their success as well. So instead of it being a competitive environment, it's a cooperative environment where all of us rooting for each other and helping each other to be successful. And the company rewards us financially. It's an absolutely brilliant business model. Most people don't understand it.
Yeah.
It sounds like a lot of connection, you know what I mean? Like in my book, The Love Energy Thread, you're talking about like what we need as humans. We need that connection. We need that love. We need that support. We need that excitement. We need that humor. And it seems like Isagenix has done that for you. It completes you. I mean,
it brings the most amazing people into my life. And it's interesting because when you're in sales of any kind, if you're a business owner, you're in sales. If you're
and if you're smart,
it doesn't matter.
People say they hate marketing, but it's all about sales and marketing. Or you don't have a business.
I've had people tell me, "Oh, I don't want to do that. That's sales. I want to go open my own business." And I'm like, "Hello."
Yeah, what do you think?
You're always thinking.
You put the pie on the sill, and someone just picks it up and puts $5 down.
Right. Yeah, I'm just gonna open a business, and I'm not gonna have to sell it. Yeah, okay. Good luck with that. But it's just sales. But sales in general, because it takes a certain kind of you have to grow yourself as a person. It takes a certain amount of self confidence that you develop. You don't have to have it coming in, but you have to want to learn it.
Right.
That the greatest people rise, they stay in sales and they rise in sales. And so the longer you're in this kind of business, you're around the coolest people.
Yeah.
Because there are people that are positive. They've learned to get along with other people. They've learned to have a positive attitude towards life. And so you have.
And so sometimes salespeople, though, for people that are not sales, it's kind of like, oh, they're too like rah-rah, or they're too like, all they do is they talk about their business.
Those people tend to filter themselves out. That's why I was saying the longer you're in it, anybody can come in, but are you going to stay in and be successful?
Right.
Those people tend to filter themselves out. It's the people who really care about other people and care about them getting either product results or business results or both, those are the people that are successful and stay in it.
So how did you like set up when you, I mean, at first obviously you probably go through a learning curve where you spent majority of your time learning the product and, you know, learning how to sell it and how to use it and everything. So when you finally got comfortable with it, how did you establish, like, what was your business plan? How, like, did you sit down and say, I'm going to spend this much time on getting, you know, new franchisees and this amount of time selling it? Do you have like set up a website, social media? Like, how did you build your base to kind of become what you are now?
Well, when you first start out, just like if you're in anything, say you decide to be a realtor or you decide to be in insurance, who do you talk to first?
Friends and family, right?
Friends and family. This is no different. But then you expand beyond that. And that's any way that you can reach out and find people. For example, I'm in a networking group called BNI, Business Networking International. I find contacts through that. Okay. But I will tell you that most of my sales from people I don't know are coming through social media, which is an extremely powerful, powerful
social media is used for everything nowadays.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, how much time do I spend? You know, I have a life. So I go to the gym, I date, I have friends, I have activities, I travel, I like to do fun things. But because this business is so mobile, when I go out to Colorado to visit family, I take my computer, I'm still in business.
Right.
If I have my phone, I'm still in business. So really, how much time do I spend? It's hard to really pinpoint a number.
Well, I mean, like, how do you manage your time? Like, do you?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like, what's a typical day? Let's say if you were home, what's like your typical day? How do you?
A typical day would be I get up in the morning and I check my emails. I check my social media inboxes. I might send out a few connections in the morning, and then I will go to the gym, and then I'll come back and I'll deal with all the messages that came in. I have my list of people I need to follow up with, customers, new people, and I'll go through those and bang those out. And then, of course, new things come in during the day, and then maybe I'll go out to lunch with a friend, and then I'll come back and,
So are you kind of always on the lookout for someone who may want to join your team? And
I am always on the lookout for people. Yeah. But then again, that's no different if you were a realtor. You would do the same thing. Mm-hmm. The reason I keep throwing that out there is because for some reason people think that multi-level marketing is some spooky, weird, under-the-table thing. It's not. It's exactly sales. And if I can bring it back to the same activities that a realtor or an insurance person would do, hopefully people can understand. There's nothing spooky weird about this.
No, I think you're right. It's a great business model when you lay it out like that. I think everyone's kind of had that encounter with the wrong person. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like
a pushy friend, come over. And it's come over, I got a business opportunity to talk to you about.
I agree.
Yeah, and so that's why I feel like it gets like I don't have that opinion because I agree with everything you're saying. But I've also met those people, and I know that they're outliers, because I get that. But I think sometimes maybe people get that experience and then they just think, oh, it's like this weird cult where these people are trying to, they're just not, they're relentless, they won't leave me alone, and because you got that guy who's doing, whatever, just constantly, it's like, hey, no, I'm not interested, I'm sorry.
They equate a bad experience, even with a bad company that maybe they were with, to the industry, and it's not. I mean, let me ask you, have you ever had a bad pizza?
Sure.
Okay, do you stop eating pizza?
No.
Exactly. Did you ever have a bad date?
Yeah.
Did you stop dating women? Clearly not. You're married. No. So see, there we go. So
close the deal.
There you go.
I've always thought it was like, I've always equated them with like the realtor example has like always been kind of the best one for me because it's your own business, but your own kind of franchise, the way you say it. But a realtor, you think of franchise as being like Pizza Hut or like a whatever. But like being a realtor, you're your own person. Like that company, if you don't sell houses or if you're not good with networking and stuff, you're just not going to get paid because that's your business.
You have to produce.
Right.
Yeah, you get paid for the value that you bring to the marketplace, not for clocking in and clocking out.
That's why you get very highly productive people, doing stuff like that.
Always looking for very highly productive people. But I'll take, I'll bring on and mentor and nurture anybody who wants to do this business at any level. Or just the product. They just want to lose 30 pounds. I'm here to help that person do it.
Yeah, that's great.
So, yes, but because I do treat it as a full-time business, the potential with my company anyway is millions a year. Right. We have people doing it. My mentor, Jay Bennett, who... what we call my upline, he'll make $2.9 million this year.
Nice.
Where can you do that? Honestly, where can you do that with no overhead? I have zero overhead. You know, I mean, it's all done just through building relationships. And the way we like to say it too is that every dollar that we make is a reflection of somebody getting healthier, because I don't make any money unless a product moves. And all of our products are geared towards making people healthier, younger, stronger, whatever it is. So the fact that Jay's going to make $2.9 million a year, and the fact that I'm going to make more than I did as a registered nurse this year, is just a reflection of me helping that many more people to get healthy or stronger or younger, or whatever it is they're looking for.
I would like to switch gears a little bit.
Sure.
I want to pick your brain about how you decided on Isagenix or multi-level or direct marketing. What are the components of compensation so that we can let our listeners know whether they joined Isagenix or another company? What should they be looking at?
Okay, now again, this is going to be my opinion. Everybody has their own needs, wants, and what they're looking for in a company. Okay, but from my experience and what resonated with me was, as I mentioned before, I wanted a company that had at least 5 years of success in the industry, because again, 90% of pizza places are out in 3 years. 95% of network marketing companies are gone in 3 years. So it was important to me there.
So let me ask you a question about that. Does it matter whether, so 5 years, does it matter whether it's 5 years or 10 years or 20 years at the company? Did that matter how long? Does that make a difference in your...
It really didn't make a difference, because there were other factors involved. But my cutoff was at least 5 years of success.
And there wasn't like a maximum?
No.
For a company?
No, there wasn't a maximum.
Okay.
But I'll touch on that in a minute. Second was compensation plan. Very, very important. There's something called geometric progression. Do you know what that is? Imagine the penny doubled. Okay. 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of multi-level companies, you know, I would bring in a new franchisee who brings in a new franchisee who brings in a new franchisee. If the company only pays 3 levels deep, when that third person brings in a fourth, I'm not going to get paid anymore. Well, in geometric progression, where do the real big numbers happen?
Yeah, later on
way down the line. So it was very important to me to find a company that would let me tap into geometric progression so that the real leverage could happen. There are a few companies that do it. Isagenix is one of them. So that was a huge factor.
How many levels does it?
Infinite.
Oh, wow.
It does top out in a business center when you're making about $27,000 a week, which is $1.4 million. But then you just open a new business center, and actually 2/3 and you actually get paid twice on the first one that you got. I'd have to actually show somebody that, but
and you'd be happy if they get to that level.
We'll go over it. And that's very important, because again, that's where the big numbers happen.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. I could bring in a superstar. I mean, I could bring in somebody who brings in somebody who brings in somebody. You know, 20 levels down brings in a superstar, and it explodes under that superstar. I'm still going to get paid the same 6% on everybody. It's an amazing compensation plan. And a question that people ask me is, well, if they're paying that much money, how does the company even be able to do that? The fact is, it's the same 5% rule that happens in everything in life. 95% of people won't do anything.
Right.
So that leaves those of us who actually step up to the plate to make huge commissions. Yeah. And because why? Because we're bringing value to the field. It's not that anybody else couldn't do it. They can do it. They don't do it.
Yeah.
Just like everything else in life. If you've ever heard the recording by Earl Nightingale, he says if you take 100 men at the age of 25, by the way, this was recorded in 1955, by the time they're 65, 1 will be rich.
Yeah.
4 will be financially independent. 5 will still be working. And I think of 56 will be broke and living on their kids or on Social Security or whatever, on the government. Right. And then, of course, 36 didn't make it to the age of 65. So there's your 5% again. Your 5%. That happens all through society, and it always has.
Yep. It happens for everything.
Had you have a philosophy? Why is that? Why does that happen like that?
That is a really good question, but that's pretty much been the way it's been through time as well.
People lose interest, or they're not focused enough, or they just don't do every day the little steps that they need to do to get the snowball going.
I think it's everything that you just said.
It's kind of like the Fibonacci code in a way. I mean, I look at my life because I've kind of been like a dilettante. I've been in a lot of different businesses, and I guess I would still, at the age of 22, I had my first business, arts and crafts store. And if I would have learned marketing and selling better, who knows? But you know, it's like the 1 + 1 = 2, and 1 and 2 is 3, and 2 and 3 is 5. You know, and it goes on, and it's kind of like that golden spiral. But if you stop before you hit success and then you try something else, you're starting again. It seems like somebody like you and people that are the 5%, they keep going and they stay with it. And then,
exactly.
And then they're happier because they're making money.
And then you got to have vision. It doesn't take vision to clock in and clock out.
Right.
And just show up and do as little as possible to get your paycheck. That takes no vision. It takes vision to get through the hard times and to see what can happen and to stay on that daily routine.
Right.
To get there.
Through the ups and downs.
95%
Sometimes you got to break
of
those
people,
plateaus.
95% of people won't do it. They
Right.
just won't. And that's their choice. You have to understand, that's their choice. This opportunity is available to anybody. $29 and you are a franchisee with Isagenix. It's available to anybody in our 13 countries. Most people won't do it. So that's their choice.
It's interesting. That seems like the way where I've heard a lot of those. Like there's like the, you know, the 90% of the work is done by 10% of the people, and you know that kind of
or the 20-80 rule.
Yeah, 20-80 rule is another one. Yeah.
So this isn't a new concept.
Yeah.
It's just another way of
funny how it
explaining
applies
how it
to-
applies to what I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Chuck and I, me and you are like starting something with this podcasting now. And it's growing by interviewing successful entrepreneurs and giving our listeners a spark of hope and inspiration. Maybe for some of you it will be network marketing, and maybe you'll even contact Julia, California. And then some of you might have another idea or another spark, but you're going to start and you're going to let it grow and continue and not give up.
Yep. That's the way
Never
to do it.
stop. Even when everybody's laughing at you and telling you you're crazy and you're in a pyramid scheme,
Yeah.
you go, well, you're just, you think to yourself, you're just ignorant, and you know, you don't
Yeah.
say that, but you just keep going anyway.
So what are your future career plans?
My future career plans, honestly, are just Isagenix. But Isagenix, as most network marketing companies, offers so much more than just pay. They offer the chance to be a leader, to speak on stage, you know, and to bring up groups, to go on trips, to travel the world. There's so much more to it than just being on social media and creating a paycheck. There's just so much more to it, and I love that. I love that because as a nurse, you clock in, you clock out. There's just no excitement to it whatsoever. And with this, there's so much more.
And plus, you get to work around your schedule or whatever, you know.
I work my schedule,
which is
and
the best.
my time, who I want. I can work with who I want. I don't have to work with anybody I don't want to work with. That's a biggie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
And what's also very important to me is I can work from wherever I want. I go to Colorado every 2 months for a couple of weeks. I was just out there for 3 months this fall when my mother was ill. And what a blessing. I didn't have to ask for time off. And I got to be there holding her hand when she passed. But I was there for 3 months.
Yeah.
A job would not have given me that opportunity.
That's that's really what me and Wendy, that's kind of a passion of ours, is getting that message out there that people can do that. You know, that's what, I mean, we both strive to do that. I do that, you know, I just went to Colorado actually last week. I was there for a whole week with my family. I took my daughter. You know, I had my computer, so I was able to work on my app and whatever, you know, all that kind of stuff while I was there. And, you know, my wife had to stay because she's got a great job, which she loves, but it's a job, you know. She has a start and an end time, and she, you know, so she didn't get to go, which sucked, you know, for her more, I'm sure, but, you know.
And I did the same thing. I
went on
drove
a
a car
trip.
from Florida, South Florida to California, and I flew back, and I was able to arrange some of my clients, and I still was able to keep in touch through social media.
And there's
my business.
There's endless amounts of opportunity out there for people to do that, whether it's, you know, doing something on your own, or doing, you know, direct sales, or doing, I mean, any consulting, anything you can imagine, which is really, you know, what we try to help people out with. I try to get that message out there. We don't have to be slaves to other people's systems, you know. Like, I always look at it was always, when I look at the workforce, it's just indentured servitude, because they're going to say, I'm going to give you a paycheck, but you have to be here at this time, you have to eat at this time, you can take a break at this time, and then you can leave at this time. and in return I'll give you money, but you're giving up your life. I mean, you're giving up your freedom. You're in a cubicle or an office building or whatever, and I'm sure there's some great jobs out there where they have a 9 to 5 and they're out in the field and stuff. I've had one, which I really appreciated. I didn't have a 9 to 5. I had a job where I could work whatever, but you know, I was on salary and I didn't have an office, and I loved that. And that was working for the man, you know. But at the same time, you were still working for the man. There's certain regulatory you know, things that you have.
That's not how I want to live my life.
Yeah,
right.
You know what I mean?
I never do that.
When I was young and immortal, you know, 5 days a week going to Dade County schools and being a computer programmer was fine. I lived for the weekends. But once I had my children, and I realized the days with my young children were limited. They were finite.
Right.
Yep.
I didn't want to spend them going to the office. I wanted to be with my children, and that's when I started to realize how precious every day of life is.
Yep.
And now, even though my children are grown, it's my life that's precious. Never mind that phone. It'll go in a second. It's every day of my life that's precious, and I don't want to spend it working for somebody else, as you said, exactly like you said, on their time frame, doing what they said. I'll never forget the day when I was still a registered nurse, and one of the gals in the office, her sister was getting married up in Michigan, and she wanted to take the time off to go up there for the whole wedding festivities. And they said, no, you may not. We need you here. And she missed her sister's wedding because the man, or whatever you want to say, I happen to be female at this point, said, no, you may not. That's indentured servitude, and that's not how I ever.
It's not how people were meant to live their existence, and you know.
Hey, the Aborigines, a lot of times they just say, hey, I'm going on a walkabout, and they go.
Yeah. And I still bring value to the marketplace, but I do it on my terms, on my time, and from my location.
Right.
I mean, if I have an internet connection and a phone connection in Bali, I can be in Bali working and bringing the same value to the marketplace as I would here in Florida.
Sure. Well, it's a good message, you know, for the podcast and for the listeners is there's always something out there. I mean, it doesn't, you know, we're not saying it has to be what I do or what Wendy does or what you do, but this is great to hear examples of people who have found something they love and can do it, and they can do it. If you're sitting in an office or whatever doing something that you don't like, there are millions of opportunities out there, and we highly encourage you to
and maybe if you're sitting in
contact us and we'll help you.
Or maybe even if you are sitting in that cubicle, maybe there's an idea or a passion or an idea that you can bounce off your boss that will give you a little bit more freedom or a little bit more excitement, and so we encourage you to do that.
Yes, excitement.
Also, excitement. We
Yeah.
need the excitement and
Having
humor.
your own business or having your own franchise with a network marketing company is a lot more exciting than a job. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
It's scary at times too. You know, we got to be honest about that.
Yeah, but you know what?
It's
Sometimes
worth it.
scary makes it
Yes.
exciting. It's okay. It's okay to step out of your comfort zone because that's how you grow and that's how you really experience life. It's not about clocking in, clocking out, going home, getting up, doing it again, and paying bills until you die. You know, make something of your life. And if you don't have an idea on your own, like these two have come up with their own unique ideas and built them from the ground up, doing network marketing or multi-level marketing, you can have all the excitement and just do the marketing part without all the hassles of a business. So what is it you want to do? You know, how far do you want to take it? You guys are building from the ground up, and that is very admirable. I'm not dealing with a lot of the things that you're doing, but I'm still having an exciting life. So there is something available for everybody, but be comfortable getting out of your comfort zone.
Right.
All right, so my last question for you, to just kind of like wrap everything up, what is it that you want to leave behind? Or is there a last parting message? How would you like to give back?
Well, I want to leave a lot of memories to my children and my family members. One of my goals is to travel the world with my children, mostly from a cruise ship. Thinking charity-wise, this may seem like an unusual charity that I would like to eventually create, is one that helps families that must work to pay for their child care expenses. Because there are so many people that either they can't work or they're really struggling because daycare expenses are so expensive. And I would like to
it's
have
actually more expensive to work than to not work. If you can't make as much as your childcare is going to cost, then there's no reason to work, and therefore you're just stuck.
And they're in poverty a lot of times because they're getting wiped out by childcare expenses. But then on the other hand, the childcare places, they need to make a living too. So you know, it's just because of the nature of having young children. I would like to set up some kind of situation where I can have grants to help families who need help in that department.
Oh, that'd be great. So where can people contact you if they want to find out more about what you do? Or?
Well, I am the only Juliana California on the planet. So you can
Nice.
Google me, find me on Facebook. It's spelled Juli space ANNA space California, just like it sounds. Yes, that is actually my legal last name. And I can be found through LinkedIn, through Facebook. You can Google me. You can find me in the white pages. And
Do you have a website?
and I, you know what? Just Google me. That's
Google?
probably the best way. I don't
Okay.
really use a website so much as I use the, the company website.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that was a great conversation with Julie. Thanks for coming in,
Yes, we really
Well,
appreciate
thank
having
you so much for having me.
Yeah.
I
Right.
really enjoyed being here.
and good luck to you in the future.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Thanks.